I have one more thing to share with you, and then I'm going to work. Not long ago, a guy came up to me, and he looked at me sort of strangely, and he says, "BB?" I said, "Yeah." "BB King, is that you?" "Yes, me." "Man, I thought you were dead." I looked at him, I thought for a minute, gave him big smiles, and "No, dude, I'm 71, live and well." People I've traveled for miles around, seems like everybody wanna put me down because I'm a blues man, but I'm a good man. Understand? Went down to the bus station, looked up on the wall. My money was too late, couldn't go nowhere at all. I'm a blues man, but a good man. Understand? The burden that I carry is so heavy. You see, it seems like it ain't nobody in this great big world that would wanna help old me. But I will be all right, people. Just give me a break. Good things come to those who wait. I've waited a long time. I'm a blues man, but a good man. Understand? If I attend church all day Sunday and come home and raise, you got it, all day Monday, it ain't nobody's business what I do. If my baby, to be I ain't got no money, reach in my pocket, so take all of mine, honey, it ain't nobody's business what I do. If I should take a notion to go out here someplace and jump in the ocean, you better call the police and see who pushed me, 'cause ain't no big black man like me gonna do nothing like that.
C'est à Las Vegas, capitale du jeu, des casinos et du show business, que B.B. King a élu domicile il y a quelques années. Ses plus proches voisins sont Mike Tyson et Barry White. Nous sommes bien loin d'Indianola, une petite bourgade du Mississippi où Riley B. King est né le 16 septembre 1925. Bien loin aussi de Memphis, la patrie du blues qui l'a vu débuter. Las Vegas n'est qu'un point de chute, une aire de repos pour cet artiste qui passe sa vie sur les routes à raison de 250 à 300 concerts par an, et ce depuis le début des années 50. D'une certaine manière, sa carrière pourrait se décliner comme une notice du wouzou. B.B. King, guitariste et chanteur professionnel, couronné roi du blues par ses pairs, il a donné plus de 12 000 concerts et s'est produit dans 57 pays. Il a enregistré sous son nom quelques 55 albums et 75 de ses chansons ont eu les honneurs des hit parades. Il a obtenu 5 Grammy Awards, une étoile sur le célèbre Walk of Fame à Hollywood, 4 doctorats décernés par les plus prestigieuses universités américaines et la médaille des arts reçue des mains du président des États-Unis. Mais à la question de comment Riley B. King est devenu le roi du blues, répond une autre question. Comment un jeune noir né dans le Mississippi est devenu un citoyen américain respecté et accepté par l'Amérique blanche?
Yeah, 1 second, let me get my book out and see what I'm doing here.
Utica, they basically lost a couple dollars, but, you know, they lost a few $100. You know, everything was fine. Albany, basically the same situation.
Yeah, Bangor was the date on Friday. Yeah, what was the PC there?
13,000.
What?
$13,199.22.
Oh, my God.
In addition to the guarantee.
Oh, my God.
So that was a home run.
Okay.
I will talk back to you, if not later today. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Sid.
Very good. Thanks, Paul. Bye-bye.
I know.
Well, that was the booking agency in America. We're lining up the tour for the whole year, next year, 1997. As you probably know, we work on 5-year cycles with BB. Believe it or not, these are 5-year programs as they used to do in old Russia. 1996 is the 7th 5-year program. It's the beginning of his 31st year that we're together. We had a breakdown preconception of what blues artists are in America, to white America. They always thought blues acts were drinking people, smoking guys, sloppy, and we proved that there's a blues act. He doesn't drink. We maintain our look. We maintain our professionalism, and BB was accepted. We kept doing that until he was accepted.
Yeah. What do you know? We're almost there. So I'm gonna go and get ready. Pretty long with all them cities. Boy, little towns.
The road was, you know, that's the old time road.
Yeah, it's
Small lane.
one lane. Yeah. Really beautiful.
My early years, very early years, 4, 5, 6 years old, I went to school up at a place called Kilmichael, Mississippi. And we owned what we call a farm. I was working as a regular farm hand, like the adults, from the time I was about 7 years old. I would go to the fields, we chop cotton, and I stayed there from the time my mom and father had divorced. But I then later became what we call houseboy, working for the Cottage family, which was a white family, and we lived on the place. My mom and my grandmother was cook and the maid for the family. But then later my mother died when I was about 9. My grandmother died shortly after. I feel I have nobody. just me. I have friends around, family around, not far from me. But nobody that seemed to give me that care, the love that I had from my mom. And it seemed to me that at this time I had friends. The animals around me. I felt, I guess, something like Johnny Rice Miller's tales about Tarzan. Because it seemed to me that all the animals trust me. Small animals like squirrels would come up and eat the peanuts out of my hand. These was days that was tough. Very tough at that time.
And to survive, there was music?
Not at that time. Not at that time. Later, I'm sorry. I'll have to wait a minute.
Keep it on.
Would you give me a towel, please?
Yes.
I had an aunt. I had visited her quite a bit. She didn't live too far from where we lived. And she, at the time, was young, and like a lot of the young people are today, she bought records. And among her collection, she had Blind Lemon Jefferson, she had Lonnie Johnson, she had Robert Johnson, had a preacher called Reverend Gates. There was Wingfoot Bob, Barbecue Bob, and a whole lot of other people she had. But my favorites, when I would hear it, was Lonnie Johnson and Blind Lemon.
Just another day for me.
Lonnie Johnson seemed to have that something in his music that seemed to go through me like a sword. The way he phrased, the way he would touch the strings, it seemed to me he babied them. He sings songs that told my story. Even as a kid, he was telling stories for me that I needed to say. So he said it for me. And then when I would go to the church, my pastor, Reverend Archie Fair, would play the guitar, and I hear this again. That's when I started to find that the music was like a friend. It was there for me.
You know we would take your goodness for granted. Father God, have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. Father God, go with us. Stand by. Look in the hospital this morning. Look in the nursing home. Father, they need you. Need you, Jesus. All over this land and country. We need you here, there, and everywhere. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Lord. Father God, and thank you for able me to live for 1929. Take us where we can live in peace with thee forever, my prayer. Amen. Yes, Lord. Amen.
The difference between the blues and gospel was the lyrics. Instead of singing about, baby, I love you, I'm crazy about you, baby, God, I love you, Jesus loves you, that's the difference. But the music, boom, 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 same music.
Thank you, and right here, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we'd like to bring him down front for his first and only time of the evening. So how about it, a nice warm burning and welcome for the one and only King of Blues, the exciting Mr. B.B. King. Ladies and gentlemen, B.B. King.
They call it Stormy Monday, but Tuesday's just as bad. Hey, they call it Stormy Monday, but Tuesday's just as bad. Wednesday's worse, and Thursday's also sad. Hey, the eagle flies on Friday. Saturday I go out and play. I said the eagle flies on Friday. Saturday I go out and play. Sunday I go to church. And I kneel down and I pray. I say, Lord, have mercy. Please have mercy on me. Lord, have mercy. Please have mercy on me. I'm crazy about my baby. Send her back home to me.
I first played gospel music. At the time, when I was living in Indianola, working on the plantation, the big plantation, driving the tractors, my salary, I made $22.50 a week. But on Saturday evenings, sitting on the street corners and playing music, sometimes $40, $50. So when I played the blues, which I would rather play gospel, but they tipped me playing blues. That's why I'm a blues singer today. I remember now when my dad come to get me after my mom and grandmother had died. He took me to Lexington. So now in Lexington, it's a whole different environment. I wasn't so comfortable there because I'd never lived in town. I didn't know how to find a place to go to the bathroom, really. That's when I started to see a lot of, they would say, you go to the service stations. This is where they sell gas and stuff. They have restrooms there. But when I would go there, they had white women, white men, and colored. So they have three. And usually the white man was clean and nice. The white women, I'm talking about the restrooms, was clean and nice. But the colored one, they would smell, and it was usually terrible shape. I noticed that I never saw any black people in the newspapers that was doing something positive. Only 2 or 3 that I would hear about. Joe Louis, the boxer. I love Joe Louis. It seemed to me that Joe Louis was saying many things that I wished I could say. With his fists, he would stand up, be a man. He looked like a gentleman to me. He had the looks of a real man. He, not only that, he could fight anybody, white or black, and nobody would hang him. That I was happy about. Because in the area where I was at the time, if you fight with a white person, if you fight, you get, later gangs would come get you. Ku Klux Klan or White Citizen Council, they come beat you up. Even when you were right in fighting, sometimes you see people hung. I saw a man, early 20s, that they had hung him and brought him to the courthouse and laid him out on the front streets out in the front of the courthouse so everybody could see it. They also castrated him. This was many things that would disturb me somewhat. I wondered why.
Not only do you see segregation signs on the restrooms, but you see the signs of segregation in other places.
You go to the counter.
When I took my seat at the counter, I asked the waitress for a hamburger and a Coke.
I said, I'm sorry, our management does not allow us to serve niggers in here.
Yeah, let's
Why? I asked myself, why? What have I done? When he called from the jail, he said, be cool, mother. And that was very trying, and yet it was amusing, too. He's telling me to be cool at this point.
Now I'm a teenager. I like the girls. So I heard music now on jukeboxes playing, electronically played. Wasn't like my aunt's phonograph where she wound it up. Now I go to town on Saturday evening and you could hear the big sound, amplified sound. And that's when I heard T-Bone Walker. God, that was the sweetest music to me this side of heaven. They had something else, kind of like a television. They would put money in this, we call it 10-cent vendor. Today they call them soundies. So you put money in, you don't know who it's going to play, you don't know what's coming up, but you know about 3 minutes of something is coming. So that's when I had a chance to see Duke Ellington, had a chance to see Count Basie. I saw Benny Goodman, Nat Cole, people, Louis Jordan, people like that. And man, this was so beautiful to me.
Hey, boy, hey, what you doing, man? Hey, what you gonna do? That ain't the piece we supposed to play. Come on. Well, I guess I better get on in here with you. Walking with my baby, she got great big feet. She's long, lean, and lank, and ain't had nothing to eat. But she's my baby, and I love her just the same. Crazy about that woman, 'cause Caledonia is her name. Caledonia! Caledonia! What make your big head so hard?
How you doing? I'm just getting this corner loose here right quick. Get Mr. King hooked up to this guitar to play Lucille there right quick. I'm Joe. I'll be Mr. King's personal assistant. Okay?
You're going to be a star.
Okay.
Believe me. Lucille. You got it?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
I used to play a little place over in Twist, Arkansas. Arkansas is one of the 50 states of the United States. And this little town is about 45 miles northwest of Memphis, Tennessee. At the time, I lived in Memphis, so I used to play Twist, Arkansas quite often. And it used to get quite cold in Twist, Arkansas in winter. So they would take something like a big garbage pail, half fill it with kerosene. Then they would light that fuel, and that's what we use for heat. And they would take this container, set it in the middle of the dance floor, and people dance around it. We used it for heat. But one night, two guys started to fighting, and one knocked the other one over on this container. When they did, it spilled on the floor. Everybody started to run for the front door, including B.B. King. But when I get on the outside, then I realized that I'd left my guitar. I went back in the building for my guitar. When I did, the building started to collapse around me. Almost lost my life trying to save my guitar. But the next morning, we found that these two men was fighting about a lady. I never did meet the lady, but I learned that her name was Lucille. I named my guitar Lucille to remind me never to do a thing like that again.
Rock me, baby. Rock me all night long. Rock me, baby. Honey, rock me all night long. Rock me, baby. Like my back ain't got no bone. Rock me, baby. keyboard.
Oh, it's almost like a dream now. God, I can't remember how many years. It seems. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. That's 50 years. 50 years since I've been trying to play. It is 50 years. I go back to Memphis, which is across the bridge, across the Mississippi River. And I don't have any more money, so I walk about 10, 12 blocks to where the station is. It starts to rain, so I got my guitar on my back. So way you can turn where the strings be next to you and the water hit the outer parts of the guitar. I'd heard about a new radio station that two young white guys had just bought. It first was a country station where they played country music. But these guys had an idea to turn this into an all-black operated station. So when I got to the station, I could see this big black man in there, and he was talking on the radio.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We all in our places. These blues in our faces, man. Look at the water run down these streets. But this is the way that we do the all blues Saturday. Oh!
Boy, I'm glad that there's blues in our faces instead of all that water.
Man, isn't that?
Well, here it is. I'm young, I'm loose and full of juice. I got to go, so what's the use? We're feeling gay, though ain't got $1. Rufus is here, so hoot and holler. Oh, I almost forgot you. You here with me.
Look out.
On an all blues Saturday, right here on WDIA. We're on here now. In the 40s, that was Bert Ferguson and John Pepper. They were the owners. So Bert Ferguson decided that he wanted good black personnel on radio here in Memphis. Before, it had been nothing but white. And nobody even give it a thought of having a black announcer on the radio. So Bert Ferguson, with the idea like Branch Rickey in baseball with Jackie Robinson, decided that he was going to break this barrier, and he did. He got a brilliant black man, my history teacher from Booker T. Washington High School, and put him on the air. And when he got on the air and his voice came across, a lot of the whites who had their products on the radio station took their products off because they didn't want no black man announcing their product, which was one of the biggest mistakes that they ever made.
Girl, you ain't got to hide that old man. You just got to give it to him and he'll be all right.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. I like the way that you doubles up on it.
When he stopped talking, the red light goes off, then I knocks on the door. It's a big picture window. I can see him, he can see me. So he came to the door and said, "What can I do for you, young fellow?" I said, "I want to make a record and I want to go on the radio. We might be able to help you with the radio, but we don't make records here." So I wasn't so disappointed because he said maybe he could help me with the radio. And as it would be, the radio station was just getting ready to start advertising a new tonic, something that a medical type of tonic that you could take, and it would be good for whatever ails you. and they named it Pepticon. We need a jingle for this new product. You think you can write a jingle? Talking to me. Yeah, I'd do anything to get on the radio. So it said, okay, see what you can do. So I get my guitar and I start. Pepticon show is good. Pepticon show is good. Pepticon show is good. You can get it anywhere in your neighborhood. They say, yeah, that's it. That's good. I used to go out on Saturdays with the salesman from the radio station, and I'd sit on the back of the trucks as they would sell boxes of this. So I got to be quite popular. Now they call me the boy from Beale Street, the Beale Street Blues boy. Some people would write to me, and they would abbreviate Blues boy. They would just say BB. Well, my name is Riley B. King, so I like that. BB? Yeah, that's good. So that's how I became B.B. King.
WDIA actually launched BB's career for the simple reason that on the radio he could advertise where he was going to be in some various club, and usually all of the club owners had nicknames. Like he used to go down to Tunica, Mississippi, and a fellow named Hardface. And over here in Birdsong, Arkansas, somebody over there had a nickname. Everywhere they went, somebody had a nickname. And that's where BB was playing out of Memphis at the various places. And then one day, BB recorded, now here it is 3 o'clock in the morning. Can't even close my eyes. And that was the song, the one song that started BB on his road to fame.
Now here it is, 3 o'clock in the morning. Can't even close my eyes. Oh, 3 o'clock in the morning, baby. Can't even close my eyes. Well, I can't find my baby. Lord, I can't be satisfied.
To be a blues man, to me, it's like being black twice. And I said that because growing up in a segregated South, you were always reminded any place you went out of your circle that you were black, because certain cafes you couldn't go to if it was white owned and patronized by white people. You weren't allowed to go if you were black, not in the area where everybody else went. But then, being a blues singer, certain areas of the black area, you were segregated because you were that blues singer. There's that old blues singer. That's what I meant about being black twice. But at that time, my audience was about 95% black, because whites wasn't allowed to go to some of the places we played, as some called the Chitlin Circuit.
Oh, it's so hard trying to keep my head up now. Hey, when people pulling me down on every side, on every side. Uncle Sam said I owe a lot of money, way back from 1956. Now how can I owe him anything? Hey, when somebody pulling you down side, on every side.
I won't say that my career started to go down, but it didn't go any higher. It seemed to be like on an even. It wasn't even like that. It was like that. So it's sort of like, to me, if you don't go up, you're soon going to start to go down. During this time, Sid Seidenberg became my manager.
I met B.B. in 1966, my memory is right, because he had tax problems and he needed an accountant. B.B. had a lot of success in the black market, in the black music area in the 50s, but nobody knew him in the pop area or the white area except certain people that followed intricately musicians and talent. But the general public did not know who B.B. King was, and that was one of the things that I saw that had to be changed. He had to be exposed to more crossover people that would appreciate him and buy his records. And we found, and that's what I did. We planned, and we got the record company involved. I renegotiated the contract from the record company. That was the first thing I did. And able to give B.B. some working capital.
When I first went to ABC, they was very nice with advances of money. I got an advance of more money I ever heard about in my life. Something like $10,000 or $15,000 in advance. Wow, that much money? But this particular time, we were recording one morning, early morning, like 2 in the morning, 2, 3 o'clock. I brought the song out. I said, I want to try this. And the minute we started, bang, it just seemed to go together like that. I liked it right off. I said, this is a good record. So when we finished recording that morning, we did 4 or 5 tunes. We finished recording. I told Bill Simsick, I said, Bill, The Thrill Is Gone is a good record. I don't know hits like you do and all that, but I know this is a good record. He said, yeah, it's all right, but I could tell then that he didn't think too much of it. He was thinking more of one of the other tunes we've done. But I knew my ears, that's good. That's well done. That's put together real well. So after we packed up, and I went back to my apartment, excuse me, it was about, I would say, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. I get a call from Bill Simsick. He's very excited. B, yeah. B, that song, The Thrill Is Gone. Yeah, man, yeah. Said, that's a good record. I know, Bill, I told you that before I left. I'm sleepy. I don't really want to talk to him. He said, B, I think that this is a crossover tune. What do you mean? He said, well, I think this tune could go pop if we put strings on it. String? Yeah, man. String. Okay. He said, do you mind? No, I don't mind. I keep thinking it was 69, but either 69 or 70, the record became a big hit. It was the only record that I ever had that the radio station played it like they do any other kind of record. And that's when I noticed the trend started to change now. It's almost like 50-50, white and black. Then I noticed the more I recorded, the less blacks I would see.
It helped expose BB to another market. This is basically how the thing started to develop. Then we attended college talent conventions, and we exposed BB to the talent buyers of colleges, universities. All these young kids that didn't know BB were enthralled when he played. And if we played for 1,000 college buyers, we ended up selling 100 shows that night.
That's new for me. I can't believe this. I get inside of the hall and there's no chairs, no tables. They sitting on the floor, body to body. Everybody dressed comfortably the way they felt. Boy, this was different for me, and all long-haired kids. Everybody had hair down here. So I tell my road manager, I said, I think we're at the wrong place. But when we got on the stage, Bill Graham had the shortest introduction, and I guess the best intro I've ever had. He said, ladies and gentlemen, and all of a sudden everybody's quiet. You could hear a pin drop. So I bring you the chairman of the board, B.B. King. And everybody stood up. Everybody stood up. Oh, I was so emotional, I cried. I'd never had that happen before. I was so emotional.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Baby, how blue can you get? I gave you a brand new Ford, but you said I want a Cadillac. I bought you a $10 dinner, and you said thanks for the snack. I'll let you live in my penthouse. You said it was just a shack. I gave you 7 children, and now you want to give them back.
Instead now of having 50-50 black and white, now at this place I had about 90% white. After that, I started to go to Europe. I started to go to Asia, South America. And my audience stayed pretty near the same.
My guitar, Lucille. My name's B.B. King. We love you.
À plus de 70 ans, B.B. King reste à la fois un pionnier et un singulier du blues moderne. À la suite de Ray Charles, il a réinventé le blues en big band. Mais c'est surtout comme guitariste qu'il a innové. Son jeu est fluide et mélodique, avec très peu d'accords. En s'inspirant du slide des bluesmen traditionnels, il produit par une simple pression du doigt un vibrato inimitable. Il ne se sert pas de sa guitare comme d'un simple accompagnement, il en fait une deuxième voix qui donne la réplique à son chant. Ses disciples ont été innombrables, de Jimi Hendrix à Eric Clapton. C'est un artiste indémodable, il le sait, et il n'est pas prêt d'envisager le moment où Lucille rentrera pour toujours dans son étui.
I'd like to live 100. So if that's the case, I would have 29 years to go. It's a long time. There's many things I can do between now and that time, if I'm healthy. When I think of death again, I've thought of 3 ways I'd like to go. The third way, in my sleep. Or if I have to go heart attack, bang, finish. Number 2, playing music on stage, or on my way to stage, or on my way leaving the stage. And number 1, making love to a lady. Those are the three ways that I pray that I die.
Thank you, Mr. King.
I'm free now, baby. I'm free from you.